everyone, and welcome to Poetry Street, the room without a roof where every voice is heard. I'm so glad that you're here at the Free Public Library in Riverhead, New York, and also those of you on Zoom in your comforts of your own home. Thanks again for being here. We always like to start with the land welcoming. New York City and Long Island has always been the gathering and trading places for many of the indigenous people. We acknowledge that we are guests on this land, and Poetry Street and our work in this area of Long Island is situated on the ancestral and unceded lands of the Lenape, who are the original caretakers, also the Krishnarsi, the Shinnecock, the Montaukett, the Reckonwalk, the Mansay, and the Haudenosaunee. We acknowledge and respect the many indigenous people who live on this land and continue to make ongoing contributions. We have a wonderful day for you, and now, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to our co-host, Maggie Bloomfield.
Welcome, everybody. First, I want to thank you all for coming, including the people on Zoom. And then I want to thank the library and Joanne White for hosting Poetry Street and for helping us out each month. Poetry Street, Chip sort of alluded to it, was begun by Susan Dingle, who's up there on the screen, and Bubby Brown, who should be here any minute. It was started, I think, almost 12 years ago as part of the Jumpstart project at Riverhead Arts. We moved around a lot. We lost the Blue Duck Bakery, which hosted us for 7 years. And we wound up here on the invitation of Joanne White and Pam Cook, who was here before Joanne. You know, we have some rules here. One of the rules is if you like the poetry you hear today, you make a lot of noise. It's a library, but make a lot of noise. Scream, yell, stamp your feet. If you don't care much for the poet or the poem, make a lot of noise anyway. Because people start out here and they grow. They come back and they grow. And besides, poetry is so subjective, isn't it? I mean, sometimes you respond beautifully to something that is truly overly sentimental, and that's okay. We are supposed to have 3 features today. At the moment, we only have one. Yo, Dee, you'll be first today. We're waiting on the other 2. One is delayed and the other is somewhere. When we, back on that table, there is the community poem jar. And I was away last month, so Jen Senft took charge of the poetry jar. What we asked, and she introduced a wonderful thing. We put a prompt there this month. Write 1 line about the prompt, around the prompt, and put it in that jar. I will put the lines together for next month, and you will have a community poem. Jen did this last month, and I'm going to ask her to read the community poem this afternoon. Jen Senft.
Hi. I love getting applause. Okay, so last month's prompt was the first time I fell in love. The first time I fell in love, a poem in 4 parts. So everybody's line I put together into a poem. 1, The first time I fell in love, I was 8 years old. She was so young, so striking. Who was I to be loved? I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was beautiful. 2, it was all hormones. My unexpected love. He was Elvis to my Priscilla. It felt volcanic, the way the feelings rushed. 3, the first time I kissed him, my eyes were wide open. We hugged, we kissed, we blushed. I felt the heat, new and surprising, rise to turn my cheeks ruby rose. The last rose of summer in mid-October sun. 4, the first time I fell in love was the last. We spoke today when you were in the hospital, suffering, but I still remember when we fell in love. Your humor and intelligence takes all, every trouble in me, and shudders it. Love is abiding, love is true. I raged against the unknown pain. So I I just want to say one thing. So 2 of them were complete stanzas, and I actually just used the first 2 lines of the stanzas so that everybody's so that it made one complete poem. So I would say, but Maggie's doing it next month, so you tell me if you agree, but I would say write 1 line or 2 lines if it completes the thought, but not a full stanza. Okay, thank you.
The prompt for next month is mother. Sounds kind of controversial. And Zoom people, you can write a line about mother and give it to Claire, and Claire will send it to me. There are little pieces of paper. You write the line on the piece of paper. Right. Only, only one. Yeah, Pramila, only 1 line. Pramila, that rule breaker. Look at you all here. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see you. What we will do today, it looks like it's going to be a little different. One of our features is running late and one has vanished. But we will hopefully have 3 features, and then we will have the open mic. We have strict rules about the open mic. I will explain them before we go into it. But in the meantime, I'm going to introduce someone wonderful. Dee Dee Spungin. Dee Dee Spungin is a Brooklyn native, is author of the collection Tomorrow Smells Invisible, Words with Wings, Press 2020. And I think the recently released Don't Take the Laughter through Words of Wings Press in 2025. Her work has appeared in many anthologies online and in print, and several of her poems have been set to music by Long Island composer Julie Mandel. Dee Dee co-hosts poetry events for the Performance Poets Association, which many here are familiar with. Let's give it up for Dee Dee Spungin.
Thank you. Okay, so tell me if you can hear me.
Yeah, yeah.
Terrific. Okay, so as Maggie said, and let me backtrack, because first I want to thank both Maggie and Chip for inviting me to read here. I wish I were there, but I haven't learned to fly yet, so I'm home. But I really appreciate the opportunity to read. And in a little bit, I'm going to read from that new book. Just a word about that. The book is called Don't Take the Laughter. Here it is. And the that which caused me to put this book out was sadly the loss of my beloved almost twin brother 5 years ago. So what happened is after he passed, every poem I wrote turned out to be for him or about him, and they were piling up. So I gathered those together and some other losses that I have experienced, and hence the book. More about that in a few minutes. Thank you all for being here. And I was going to thank the hosts for allowing me to read with these two, I think, two young men. I was going to tell you to just refer to me as the old lady, but I'm it now, so don't do that. I have three poems that are not in the book. Let me begin with that. This one was written in the spring. On this day, on any day. Skimming the news because deep reading leads to depression and a leaning toward surrender. I'm reminded once again, there's redundancy, of the endless tasks undone, the list that aches to be complete, the plan to save the world. And it's spring. Imagine Ramadan, Passover, Easter, managing to share the calendar. No squabbling about whose day it is, whose time for prayer. They work together, share the stage, lift their voices to something holy, larger than any life created. Suppose you don't believe. Suppose you have another way. The calendar, so wide and open, invites your words, your silences, kneeling or standing, performing acts of faith or refusing them. Everyone gets a chance at that. Everyone gets a trophy. Skim the news or skip the news. This is a time like no other, isn't every day. Accept it. This gift of breathing air together, accept together. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just going to hold up the page because I'm kind of love this shape. Question marks my place. I lose threads of thought, places in my brain already in trouble, seeing, not seeing truth, hearing, not hearing sense, or a bit of nonsense that amuses rather than abuses my belief in the golden rule. Not at all about how much is in your pocket, but more about what is in your heart. Remember that tender organ, receptacle of all that was decent in the human being, invention of he who must surely be weeping. Have you taken note of the floods? And wondering what he had in mind, what he had hoped for, a mother raising a child gone terribly wrong. Does he love us anyway, in any way? How does he do that? Thank you. And this one, excuse me, do you hear the ticking of clocks? All around me, time does its tap dance, always moving closer to the final bow. How strange to think time will go on long after I have exited stage left. And what will be left of me but these pages, a hefty plethora of stuff and memories housed in hearts and minds of those whose lives have touched. Memories are our greatest treasure. How wonderful to revisit the old days, days of youth and beginnings. How miraculous to be able to picture loved ones long gone, replay fond moments, see expressions, hear laughter. The gift to be able to keep those joys and sorrows, and even share them with dear ones still breathing the air with you. Hold on to yesterday. Today will intrude itself, like it or not, and at some point, today will take its place among the royalty of golden yesterdays. So, a little bit, thank you, about the book. I just want to show you the cover, which is, if you can see it, it's a piano with one chair and this interesting shadow right here. So this piano is in my temple. And it appeared one day, and it was just there with two folding chairs in front. Now, my brother and I took piano lessons when we were young, and we played duets together. Shortly after he passed, I came into the temple, and there was only one chair. And that shadow on the side was for me the appearance, the presence of my brother, hence the front cover. And yes, this is certainly the product of Words with Wings Press, Judy Turek, Peter Dugan, the editors. And I'm going to read a few poems from this. A note. Death throws itself on life and breathes it all away. Piles of regret remind the living. After the floods and fires, stay and breathe the flowers, not the smoke. Fall in love again with summer, with rain, with each other. I find this note from time. I pass it on to you. Thank you. There's something about leaving. I am never ready to say goodbye to those people, those things, that moment, that scene. I am never ready. I break. Seams jagged, the moisture, blood, or tears. A magic of healing comes with time, if it comes, if I permit entry. I cherish the ache. It reminds me of the beauty that insists on being gone. This next poem is called Now Ghosts. The silence enhances a meditative moment. Unringing phones, doorbell still, just my breathing, the occasional truck rolling down the street. Alone with the friendly sound of heat coming up at my request. It is cold out, yet warm in this residence I share with beloved ghosts. Laughter rang in this house, music played here, voices sang. There was a piano, I recall, and children. Now ghosts dance in the kitchen as laughter echoes from familiar walls. I close my eyes and see the years. 1,000 smiles converge. Sweetest memories visit on quiet days. Excuse me. I should say that the book is divided in 4 parts, and the first section is general poems I've written over the years about death and lovely things like that. Excuse me. The second is dedicated to people other than my brother and one other that I've lost. The third, and the poem I'm going to read now is from the third, was 9 poems that I wrote after the loss of my late daughter-in-law. And the last section, the largest, is for my late brother. Excuse me. This is called Vernal. Weather predictors repeat the curse. Spring will be a little late this year. And I recall the song, its message twisted around the fact that has reshaped my life. Spring may never come again, says a song in my head. Through closed eyes, I see the persistence of life, painting the blackness green. I have lived in black forests before, the steps remembered, a dim vision of the last time I fell. We are always falling. Rising and moving ahead, the trick, a practice move for human. Spring will find its place, and some will soar upon its joy. Some will write poems and smell flowers, refuse to remain blind to its beauty. Gifts are delivered to the darkest doorsteps. Who am I to turn them away? I open the door, lift the package. It is light as air and warm as spring. When I am ready, I will open it. So, from the section of for my brother Lionel. And by the way, each section is introduced by a quote from my brother and a quote from me. And I call him my almost twin. We were not twins. We were not born the same year, a few years apart. But my birthday is May 11th. His birthday was May 12th. And so we celebrated our birthdays together, always. This is called birthday. Remember that day on the beach? You and Teddy and Joyce and I on the blanket. You moved over. You always moved over so I would get more shade. Protection was your job, your devotion spelled in letters higher than the waves. Remember diving and pretending to drown? You would swim to me and save me every time. I dream of you sometimes and wake, the gift of your visit smiling on my sleepy mouth. This is the good part of grief. It takes so small a space. And then the reckoning, the recognition again. Remember when we shared our birthdays? Always one cake for two names, two candles, friends enough for both of us and presents. Every birthday together forever. But forever's battery ran out of time. My birthday's on the way, but I will lock it out. How can I listen to the song, blow out candles, cut a cake for one whose name will I smear for good luck? My brother and sister-in-law lived on Long Island for many years, and then they moved up to a town near Woodstock, New York. And this is called If You Are In. If you are in New York City this weekend, please find me. I'll be at the corner where we once met for tea. The scones were perfect, as was the day. If you get to Long Island this weekend or ever again, wherever you choose, the beach of our past, the house that's still here, no need to knock on this open door. If you're in Woodstock this weekend, I'll be waiting for you in that shop with the wonderful scarves, waiting to wrap one around you, make you stay. Thank you again. My brother and I, uncaped crusaders, wild with stars in our eyes, we painted petals, sunflowers, roses on ugly walls, tried to cover hurt and evil, kept going until he became a star. And I will finish with this one. Some secrets can only be shared with the silence I find at sunset. Late June evening pairs with a merciful breeze. Half my worries drift into the deepening blue sky. I'm strong enough to battle the other half, but tomorrow is soon enough. This moment, this gift, a reminder of what I have had, of what will always be mine. A hosta bush announces its promise of exotic blooms to come and ecstasy on the horizon. Late June, and I let go for a passing memory, feel the freedom of yesterday, the breeze on my skin, a message of respite and relief, permission to smile, remission of grief. Thank you all so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dee Dee.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's hear it again. Dee Sandra. Dee Dee, how can they get your book?
Oh, thank you. I forgot about that part. Amazon has it. Take the Laughter, D.V. Spungin. And it's a capital D, small d period, because I'm quirky that way.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much. Our second feature is also online. Will Succeed, the artist, is a poet and songwriter. His unique voice includes humming tunes to accompany his writings, and he excels at poetry slams, winning top fives when he competes. Will organizes open mics events in New York City, including Too Much and Extra and Squad 301 of the Harlem Bomb Shelter, a cultural literary initiative that unites creatives. Unity is what matters to Will. Help me welcome Will Succeed the Artist.
Hello. Hello, party people. Hi, so sorry. I did not know New York City had two different court streets. um, uh, let's try to do some poetry. I hope you guys are feeling okay. I can't hear the response. But I would still like one. To whoever's in the room, to whoever's online, if I say the words understood, could you kindly say her business is her business? Right? So if I say understood,
Our business, our business.
I can hear y'all. Dope, I can hear y'all. Yes. So I'm gonna try this piece. One time I was a kid and I was like looking at my neighbor's job. I was like 7 and like at a young age I understood her business is her business. Right? She said, excuse me, men think they're getting this cookie for free. Well, oh, they got another thing coming. She's a prostitute. She'll probably use you. You problems, dude. She profits too. She says she knows her worth, but you all get the discount. She prioritizes. She is a businesswoman. Not a cheap whore. We slut shame no more. We understood her business is her business. Her business is booming her brains out. She hangs out, handing out sloppy work, half-ass, half-dressed, half-shirt, face down, ass up. Her name's in the dirt, twerking for perks, but the perks weren't working. The perks weren't worth it. She purchased a new purse, but she needs a new pursuit. She's valuable. She values trending topics like herself topless. She is in my top list of hot chicks I wish would stop this. She knows she is not worthless. She searches for purpose. I understood. Her business is her business. She thinks I'm interesting because I asked her for her interest. She's saying her rates went up, but I'm not interested. She wants me indifferent with all her decisions, not just in different positions, but indifferent with all her decisions because she's different. She's making it difficult. She's sending in hints like she wants to get hitched, but I couldn't hit. I don't need to be in this. This isn't my business. I'd rather be her assistant, fixing her wish list. I know she wants more. I ask what she longs for. She craves to be adored. I think she's bored. I don't think she's so broken. She said this unspoken. She sells herself short. She says she knows her worth, but you all get the discount. I said, we know you are priceless. You cannot be affordable. Your routine has you vulnerable. We want you to want more of you, and we refuse to control you. I have to be her only fan, not subscribe to her OnlyFans. I might take a glance if she wears them pants. She will wear the pants, won't need a man. She's a show off and show off. I'm turned off if she takes off. She will wear the pants, won't need a man. Not a stripper, so the money ain't chanced. She gets paid in advance. Turned off by advances, she's just dancing. See, I'm understanding her business is her business. So mind yours. And that's her business. That's her business. Thank you for hearing that out. Yeah. Oh boy. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, I got how many more on me? I got this one piece. This one piece. This one piece more so tells you about me and my traumas and stuff like that. Um, it's just about how I like to call this one the turtles, right? Uh, the turtles, the angels, and the demons, right? If you could see the turtle, yeah. I don't want to live in your shadow. I live in the shadows. You know how ignorance is bliss, the optimism is a tease. I hate myself for the love I bring. I deserve the beating. My biggest fear is my mind deteriorating. Hold on, I'm slow. So, turtles are my muse. The only time my father was ever amusing was watching cartoons. They were absolutely amusing. We would watch Ninja Turtles, a story of reptilian killers who kill for you. A family beyond blood who sees a rat as their father. No diversity in a world full of haters. They save you. My dad was a black man in the 80s. He was racist. He thinks a white should be hated. I would only agree with this statement if they're racist. If wasted, don't call him your nigga. And don't call Rocket raccoon. My dad said he's a demon. Now, where do I fit in? What does that make me? My mother sees him in me. Ain't nothing like me except me. Am I just his semen, a product of a self-proclaimed demon? And self-righteous goddess is a special specimen, indeed self-conscious. My mother is a survivor of domestic violence. How'd you get in that wheelchair? I could kill this man now. So, where do I get it? My dad said he's a killer. Now, black men should never get angry. We get diagnosed crazy real quick. We won't enter the spelling bee based off ignorance. I'm paranoid. I don't know every word, but see how this adds up. I have ADD. Help. ADHD. My title is William Edward Graham III, not to be confused with the monster. Call me the will to succeed. As a statement for being in special needs, I was the turtle with special meaning. The only time my father wasn't a demon was when we would watch our show. When I didn't know, it wasn't exposed, just switching to regular ed gave the same results. We all suffer mentally. I mean, what's your problem? What's your issue? You don't know what you'll turn into. You might be a beast, but don't be a demon. Be better than you. I'll do better than me. I'll exceed expectations expected from me. Expected from me. The will to succeed. My father failed on that rock, like fell off the rocks, but doing better. Our dynamic is not how it should be. It's rocky, therefore we'll fight. But my dad went to rehab, so allow me to talk to him. You are better for seeking the help you need. You are not Master Splinter, but you are a hero I need. Even if you're a demon. And optimism's a tease. I hate the things you did. But I could be the better man if I just forgive you. Even if you left the family splintered. Those are the turtles, angels, and demons, right? It just takes me back to a time where things weren't as complicated and I didn't know like all these bad truths about like my family history and stuff like that. And like, you know, you learn your dad is an abuser and you just find yourself watching Ninja Turtles with him and realizing that those were the only good moments y'all really had, you know? So that's basically it. But you know, you mature. You want to get out of that. You want to grow out of this domestic violent cage you found yourself growing up in. So you mature. You watch comedies. You watch shows like Martin. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Martin. It's a sitcom. I don't know if you know the story of Martin and Gina. Yeah, I was watching Martin a lot. Yeah, y'all know the story of Martin and Gina, right? Yeah. You know, Tommy kept a secret. Yeah, he has to reveal it. He has feelings for Gina. They grew deeper. He said, dang, Martin. He said they used to bang back when Tommy had hair doing college things. Oh, Martin wants to know what he's trying to explain. And Tommy said simply, your girl gave me brain. Had a convo once about her sharing my name. She used to call me babe before you entered the game. And Gina said, hey, don't come on my place. You bringing up that old stuff that was hidden till today. Martin got tight and frustrated. He grabbed a gun from his waist. He said, get to stepping or get shot in the face. And as for you, Gina, this ain't where you stay. You didn't tell the truth, so this is the price you pay. I suggest packing your things and you can find a new place. And Gina's like, baby, how you do this to me? Tommy said, hun, you could come lay with me. So Martin's heated. He wants her to leave. He wants Tommy to bleed, but he don't need the crime scene. He don't need to involve the police. He got to do what he needs to. He can't have witnesses. They don't need to see proof. Tommy looked at him like, boy, what that gun do? Martin said, I'm the man about to show you pop. Ooh. You see, Tommy wasn't shot, but Gina is dead. Martin felt a lot, so he shot her in the head, saying, if I don't have her, no one will have her instead. Awkward silence and a couple tears shed. Tommy said, damn, dog, look what you did. Martin said, me, man, I thought we were friends. Tommy popped out his pocket with another pistol at hand and said, now, Martin, I had to bring you to an end. Hank. So sorry for your power couple. And that's the name of that piece. Sorry for your power couple.
Thank you so much, Will, for that. That was great. Thank you so much. And our next is Heru there beside you.
Yes.
Okay, now is we're gonna hear from Heru. And Maggie, you have his bio?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. Give it up for Will's success. And we're gonna bring you back after the open mic.
Will, that was so moving. Let's hear it for Will, the artist. Woo! Heru Smith began writing at age 13 and morphed into grappling the complexities of living with a disability and the emotional weight of feeling different with words. In 2021, he began performing his poetry, and in December 2023, he published his debut poetry collection, The Shay's Eyes, available on Amazon. He has shared his work at many venues. He also serves as safe space manager at kebthemagazine.com. Help me welcome Heru Smith.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
What's up, man?
I'm doing good. So, I just want to say thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And I have some interesting poems that I would like you to listen to. All right, so this first poem that I would like to talk about, this one is close to me because this was like a time in my life when I was really trying to understand myself. So this one is called Do Not Enter. And oh, you got it. Oh, my phone is messing. Yeah, you gotta move it out of. Oh, I can't see it. All right, it go like this. Excuse me. I have a problem with thoughts in my head that wasn't to be more active than the purpose of thinking. I think it's getting that postal job where you keep getting paper cuts from your own enemy. And mine is myself. I have a psychological jitter for different voices that think they're me. And the problem is that most of the time there are just my reflections that I can't seem to make peace with. So stop hovering over my characteristics as if we were both born the same way. Leave my vulnerability only to me to morph into something that I never thought could happen. It is the aggressive tones that rings throughout my head, attempting to plant seeds without any permit. Any construction plan that should be written off by this one soul that actually wants to come out and express its true meaning, express itself and why it likes to be itself. So as you decide to want to enter into this reality that is slowly being created, ask yourself first, are you ready to tear down the mask? Thank you. So that was my first one. Thank you. Thank you. That one right there I really like so much because I decided not to run away and just to actually challenge myself and be open to the things that I want to do and help people along the way, you know? Okay, cool. So the next one is called Empty Room Confessions. Now this one called Empty Room Confessions, I got this from the idea that a lot of times when we want to do better for ourselves, we got to throw away the old stuff that really doesn't help us anymore. So this is called Empty Room Confessions, and it goes like this. I was told that if you can't talk, then write. I overheard that if you're scared, then face those fears head on. But what if those fears kept me from injuring myself? Someone said that in order to have friends, you need to speak up and greet. But that felt nerve-wracking because I didn't fit in. This poetry teacher once told me to never keep your emotions inside because they will haunt your mental. But I decided to lock myself in with them since silence was the one who locked him in the first place. But maybe the worst part needs to be addressed. Excuse me. I I threw out everything and only left the walls where they stand. The ceiling and fan stayed since it helped him look up to something important. The hardwood floors underneath stayed with the promise to always hold him up. So we can all guess that being boxed in incubated the shyness to sprout. And the route was never out, so stop asking for directions. But the bed was thrown out because it only cared about the shape of my body. The lights were asked to not shine above his head because darkness will attract it once he stops seeing red. The pictures were buried in the backyard since running away from memories felt free. The mirror was broken into a million pieces, so superstition is his new religion. The windows were all boarded up so no one can see into his soul. I put all the dresser drawers on the side of the curb because wearing other people's names made me feel claustrophobic. I sold his television to everyone else's ego since he was still trying to find something special within himself. He ripped down the drapes and stuffed them in the washing machine because the scent didn't involve innocence. And I bet you can tell that he chipped away the paint off of his flaws. So no one can tell his emotions by the colors that were emulating his despair. So I guess you are wondering, what's his confession? What could he possibly need to get off his chest? Maybe that he needed the love himself first before someone else can. Or maybe that his uniqueness is better than any copycat imaginable. Well, it should be that his physical is just as important as being intellectual. It might be that his voice should get the same praise as his other senses do. It could entitle the notion of appreciating the purpose of being birthed by your mother because he was made perfect, but sin taught him interference. But that isn't my confession at all. It was, why did I come here? Hopefully you can help him with the answer because being genuine is becoming a lost art. Oh,
You. Yes. Yes.
Wow,
Give it
that
up
was
for
awesome.
Haru
Thank you so
Slim.
much. Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Now we're going to do an open mic now, and we're going to
Okay.
try to bring our features back. If we have time to bring our features back, we're going to
Okay.
start the open mic. First of all, give a round of a hands to our features: Doreen Spungin, Your Success, and Heru.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, and now we have one for the open mic. We ask for you to do one poem only for the open mic, and we're going to start with Steve Borkin. Steve, thank you so much. Thank you. He's giving up with Steve.
Hey guys, thank you so much for this. I love this place. You guys have been a big part of my life for, I don't know, a long time. Um, so today's an important day for me. It's 5 years since I got cancer and survived cancer, both prostate, bladder cancer, and COVID at the same time in 2020. I got a clean bill of health, and real quick, since that, I've been on this beautiful path with a gentleman named Standing Eagle up in Kapalo. And I'm a different man than I was then, but this poem, this piece reflects a family dinner that we had the day that I found out. If you can see this photo, my son took this photo of me when they told me that I had X amount of time to live. Since then, I walk in a path of light, which is a beautiful thing. So thank you all for being here and sharing. This is the antithesis of where I am now. It's called In the Hearth of Shadows. In the hearth of shadows, where the fire glows, wanes the embers, and the family gathers, a tapestry of souls woven from the same thread, yet each a distinct shade of darkness and light. The room breathes with the weight of words unsaid, the air thick with the perfume of nostalgia and the sharp tang of my regret. Here in this sacred space, my soul unfurls a parchment inscribed in the ink of years past. The family, a crucible of my being, reflects the paradox of my existence. Love intertwined with pain, support marred by silent battles. It is within these walls that I have laughed and wept, where the roots of my spirit have delved deep into the fertile soil of our shared histories. Yet amidst the quietude, a thread of dark optimism weaves through the narrative of our lives. It is the belief that from the ashes of our collective sorrows, new growth can emerge. It is the hope that fractures that map. Our bonds are not irreparable, but they are very divisive, where the light of understanding may one day seep through. Apologize for that. The family, an orchestra of desperate notes, composes the symphony of my soul's journey. Each member a musician playing their part, sometimes in harmony, at times discord. But it is in the dissonance of the possibility of this new melody where I reside. A tune that speaks of resilience, of finding beauty in my disarray. And so, as the night deepens and the embers fade, I sit amidst the remnants of this day, pondering the enigma of tomorrow. My soul, a vessel navigating the tides of darkness and light, holds fast to the dark optimism that whispers of dawn, a dawn where the family, my eternal constellation, might shine with the brilliance of stars, reborn from the night. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks so much, Steve. And now the author of Old Wooden Bench, Vinnie Colon.
The Old Wooden Bench, Vinnie Colon, Words with Wings Press. Thank you, Judy. I'm also the submissions editor for The Scene, and we just did this month a feature on the Harlem bomb shelter. So you guys, good job out there. So if you want to, this is a monthly poetry zine. If you want to submit a poem, submit up to 3 poems to thescene.life. So I'm going to read a quick poem. It's called The Stone, homage to Robert Frost. The world will always be a messed up place. Perhaps that is the most maddening part. But the stone that you throw should never be bigger than your heart and the struggles you endure with all those courses you chart. At the end of the day, was it all worth your art? The world is always a very cruel place and most unkind to the weak. Just like a virus, Mother Nature seeks to destroy, erase, and then repeat. And the battles we have fought to our children that were taught, at the end of the day, was it all for naught? The world is a mostly horrible place when you're on the outside looking in. But let he who's without sin hurl the first stone as we punch the clock, and as they keep on searching for a cure, they keep evening up the score down here on earth, here upon this rock. The world can one day be a happy place, peace in our time. Can we make a start? And the stone that you grow can one day become a fixture in your hearth, and the love you find is pure from sea to shining shore. And at the end of the day, life is a little less tart. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Vinnie. And now we have Ann Austin.
Thank you. My name's Ian. This is my first time here. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this is called Impatience. No need to shout or even pout. What you don't understand, I'll sing it out loud. I just didn't understand what the story was about. You didn't have the patience for me to sort it out. You what? You did what? That's what really cut. As you told me the story without any glory, I didn't understand how you came to be there. Your patience wore thin as you filled me with fear. You what? You did what? That's what really cut. You raised your voice and you sat up and said, I told you all she did was convince me to bed. But you lost your patience as I listened intent. You what? You did what? What it all meant. She invited you over to meet her new man. She said that was her plan. But when you got there, she looked so demure, seemed like all wasn't so pure. Her man was not at her hand. She strolled you around and showed you her house. You became lost as she became found. She led you on where she began her web, kissing and hugging you until you fell into bed, or your clothes seemed to fall off so fast. She didn't waste a minute as she looked in the past when you were her man and she was your lass. She had you from everywhere, above and beneath, while she called out your name, drove you insane, not a surprise with your bedroom eyes. When the lovemaking was over, she asked you to leave before her man came back, which you couldn't believe. Your lack of patience as you couldn't wait for my feelings to dissipate cut more than any deception or lovemaking conception.
All right, let's give it up for Ann. Ann, welcome to Poetry Street. This is the room without a roof where every voice is heard, and we're so glad that you're here. Now we're going to go to Zoom, and we're going to ask Judy Turret to please read. J.R. Turret.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, features. Wow, really, what an amazing day. And thank you, Maggie, and thank you, Chip. So we're gonna play Poetry Roulette. Then this is the newest Healing Souls, 24 poems written in a 24-hour poetry marathon, all about shoes, glorious shoes. And Dee Dee, thank you for reading. Glorious book you have. So I'm going to ask you to play Poetry Roulette and pick a number from 1 to 24.
11.
11. Okay. Okay. We have a mutual love, and this is it. How cool. Summer songdles. Flip flop, click clack, love the songdles of summer. Little thongs sing a song as they kiss the ground. Clogs clump, stilettos slice, still love the songdles of summer. Wedges wonder why everyone else whispers. Slip slack, jelly belly, love the songdles of summer. Platforms stand on themselves, soapbox of summer love. Slippers snooze under the bed through summer songdles. Loafers lounge on the beach, at the pool, in your living room if you let them. Kiss, kiss, tap, tip, love the songdles of summer. Slides bring the crowd to their feet, humming like July happy feet. Mucklucks muck, sneakers sneer, still love the songdles of summer. Birds chirp and whistle at the sexy reveal of a toe loop in the park. Flip flap, clip clop, love the songdles of summer. Thank you.
I wish it was summer, and actually, I really like fall. Thank you so much for that, Judy. Emily Sue Sloan, if you would please read next.
Well, hello, everyone. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm going to read one that appeared in an online publication called Mocking Heart Review. When you say migrant. When you say the word migrant, I look out my window where the maples have sprouted bouffant hairdos, shielding visitors who hide within the waves of their crowns. When you say the word migrant, my mind soars on trilling bird songs echoing through the night. To think they might be caged at any moment, wings clipped, banished alone. When you say the word migrant, I hear accents, taste spices, marvel at the palate arrayed on Earth's table, waiting to be sampled and savored. When you say the word migrant, I reach for lavender soap to wash away your disdain. For aren't we all wanderers seeking safety and solace, a place to make a home? Thank you.
Wow, that was a poem for this time. Thank you so much. Nina Yavelle, please. As Nina come, I just want to tell you that she's on our website, on our film, Poetry Street on the Road, the film. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nina Yavelle, the author of Blue Mom.
Thank you, Chip and Maggie. Thank you to the wonderful, wonderful poetry. November is kind of a mournful month, and so this poem is inspired. It's kind of a conglomeration of my feelings about my brother John, who's going through a lot right now. It's called The Red Maple. One by one, the leaves fall, blow across the yard, curl and die. Annuals wither. White begonias still breathe. In the afternoon, the summer just spent, I noticed the red maple on the path home. It is dying. The arborist said it was the landscaper's fault. They piled the mulch too high. The roots are rotting and have been for many years. He tried to save it, scraped away the high soil, brought it back for a year, but the rot was too deep. He's still willing to try, cut out the growth, leave the healthy cells, hope it will flourish. He says he'll spray the roots with some new chemical, but doesn't know how it will help. The leaves are already beginning to shrivel, and the trunk is becoming drier. I have always loved that maple, planted only a few years after I came here. Every spring I notice the sweet buds begin to open. In May, leaves were full, deep red, oiled by light. I do not have skills of an arborist, no knowledge of their tools, their cures, their medicines. I trust that they will try their best to quiet any suffering.
Wow, some poems you just need a hug with. Kathy Donnelly is our next poet. Let's give it up for Kathy.
I just have to say, these poems are so personal, and it's really kind of deep feeling of heartbreak, some of this. But anyway, I'm going to change it all up and talk about a political situation, which is that over the course of the summer, I was asked to put together a book about the Constitution and democracy, rule of law. And Rabbi Adam Stein, one of the poets in our community, said, let's call it What Unites Us. And that's just trying to, we solicited poems and prose and looked to fill a book with the things that would bring us together and not make us feel divided. So I wrote, and I just want to tell you, I have a few copies if anyone's interested. They're being sold through the Walt Whitman Birthplace. All the money that comes from this book is a fundraiser for the Walt Whitman Birthplace. They're hurting. So, and I just want to also mention that in this book, there's a little tribute to Phyllis Wheatley. Anyone who doesn't know who Phyllis Wheatley is needs to know. Phenomenal woman, child-turned woman. And there's also it was just so painful to get this together, but we put photographs of every one of the signers of the Constitution and what they went through to get together, and also how the Iroquois Indians also majorly contributed to our Constitution. So here's a situation where the Irish, which is what my dad was, lived with Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and Catholics in England. All were under these laws that were designed in 1695, when we still had a king here in America. And they designed the penal laws. I sit on my back porch overlooking long green grass, tall green trees like Ireland, home to my ancestors, reading a banned book, The Ginger Man. He is so bad it's a comedy. I think I know him. It's Sunday. What better way to say thanks for all that is good? I attend Mass, give a silent nod to he, she, we call God. I don't need to know, content to sense the incomprehensible. I think of my father's people, my Irish heritage under the kings of England since the 12th century. Penal laws since September 7th, 1695 mark the day. Perceived threats by Catholic popes with power. The right to educate children forbidden. I would not know how to read my book. Not permitted to inherit or own land. I would not own my own porch. No say in elections, not permitted to vote. No one would hear my protests. Irish Catholic majority ruled by a Protestant minority. Not permitted to hold public office, practice law, fines and imprisonments for attending the Mass I went to this morning, death to the priest giving it. Kings of England forbade bearing arms, speaking the Irish tongue, gathering to sing and dance at their céilís. Enough food for everyone shipped to their own shores, leaving Ireland in famine. Harsh rules, punishments, cruel suppression of a people by the kings across the sea. British rule, our founding fathers knew what it was, knew what was to come. A place to go to get from under the new world with its new laws of the land written into a constitution. Something to look to, a vision to aspire to, trust, even amend as we go.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. And please support the Walt Whitman birthplace because they do need the funds. Okay, Claire, if you could tell us who the next three poets to read. Thank you.
Chip, we have a small group on Zoom today. So Susan Dingle is the next poet up.
Hey, Poetry Street. It's wonderful to be here with you. And I miss you. I'm torn between reading some raggedy thing that I'm working on right now or reading something that is more finished. I know what'll happen if I read the raggedy thing. I'll just really be embarrassed, but I want to honor the vulnerability of the poets who've shared today, and a shout out to Dee Dee Spungin and to Heru Smith and Will. It was beautiful to hear you. And so look at this. This is a mess. Oh, you can't see it because it's blurred. Okay, it's a mess. But I just I want to honor the vulnerability of writing poetry, and that we are by sharing our vulnerability is a tremendous act of resistance and courage in these times. So let us be vulnerable and even read a poem like this. This is a poem called I Dream of Being Dangerous. Saturday on the plaza, I celebrate free speech, a poet still considered harmless. I dream of being dangerous. A week later, the heart of darkness demolishes the east wing of the people's house, and we cry out, may our words pierce darkness. May our words of love and truth strike terror into the heart of darkness, who has demolished the east wing of the people's house. Let us grieve and fight, resist with cardboard signs, weep for the rose garden, rage for the arrested immigrants, the furloughed workers, the devastation of the safety net, and come together. 7 million of us in 2,700 cities and towns across America. You can see us on a map, squares on a TV screen, in news coverage, sweet resistance in our signs, horns honking, yes, and inflatable costumes dancing, a frog tyrannosaurus, unicorn, stand up for liberty against tyranny, our jokes thrown back into the teeth of the oppressor, for we have discovered humor irritates tyrants, the evil one. How dare we laugh at Satan and all the sycophants who assure him the inflatable pig outside the ice building and the dancing hippopotamus are part of an Antifa conspiracy, like old ladies in t-shirts labeled Grantifa, worn by old ladies who look like me and dream of being dangerous. Thank you. Love you,
Now,
guys.
before we go to the next person, did you see that picture of Susan with her Boston gloves? It was hilarious. Thank you, Susan.
Chip,
Yes.
that concludes our Zoom poets for today so far. So
Okay.
we're back to the room.
Okay, awesome. Well, we have Diane here who's going to read. Diane.
Hi, everybody. I have a short poem called Down and Up and Out and In. It's time for a slowdown, a breakdown, a showdown, a checkup, a tune-up, a glow-up, a workout, a blowout, a shout-out, a sit-in, a sleep-in, a love-in, a total reset to get to equilibrium. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Diane. Now we have Barbara Ann Branca. All right.
All right. Well, thank you. Okay, everybody. Thank you, Chip and Maggie. Our features, that was great and different and wonderful. Yeah. Someone dear to me would have been 80 last month. He was a history teacher who ran the folk singing club and who knew every verse of Dylan's Desolation Row. About a half century ago, he had a Fulbright to India, so I went cross country in my cobalt blue VW. And while still in California, covered in poison oak that I got in Big Sur, when he was due back from India, so I let my parents know to pick him up at JFK, and so they did, finding a very skinny guy with long hair and a Nehru shirt, looking like Jesus Christ with a sitar. So, Tony, I owe you this. He'd been gone a few years now. She was cried out. Enough. Took his guitar down from the wall, painted the color of his eyes. Gingerly, Reverently, she held it to her breast, sat at the dust clinging to the cloudy, cloudy mother of pearl inlay. They'd watched a craftsman create. We always sang, "Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free." Well, we sang that all the time. And she slung the strap over her neck and oh so gently let fingers find each string high to low, remembering chords taught by Brother Pete along the Hudson, strummed years ago at peaceful candlelight vigils, upstate college campus to inner city Head Start, at that scary protest in Washington, D.C.'s DuPont Circle, in Jim Crow luncheonettes and laundrettes in Alabama, where that Okie from Muskogee yelled, "Get a haircut, you draft dodger." We were singing for freedom, justice, world peace. What would he think now? What should we do? And in her head, she heard him answer, "Sing louder and get that thing tuned."
Thank you so much, Barbara. Louisa Espinoza. All right, let's get up for Louisa. All right. Welcome.
Thank you. Let me just get this back in here. Okay. Sorry, I'm just getting my screen back. Okay. Observations of a novice in the sanctuary of life. Novice in the sanctuary of life. Baby, hold on to my hand. Last night I touched many hands, and I held these others tight while I was hurling to a dance. And then exchanging looks and promises with a prospective light, a phone number in hand. A dance with a stranger who beat my fingertips, and smooth dancer who kissed my hands. Who knows? I always say it's just a question of reaching out. Last night I was now, and did not figure out later in the stars nor the moon sleeping above. Last night I shadowed and rouge, faces came and went, names revolved and disclosed from lips to lips, and everybody straying to meet the vogue, the DNA of a social caress. On the floor, people lived in naked flesh. The Lone Ranger of a Sean Connery, of a Scarlett O'Hara, or claimed the erotism of a Hugh Hefner, the alien with the not-so-alien trying to harden a conviction. The last Apache danced with seductive conviction. Wings the drink. Blind and morose, I took a chance and saw the lure of days gone by.
Thank you so much. And now we have you've heard one of the founders of Full Poetry Street. Now we're going to have the other founder of Poetry Street, Bubby Brown. Let's give it up. Robert Bubby Brown.
Good afternoon. Kudos to all of our teachers. It's amazing that so many times I'm sitting here listening to some of them, and quite often they resonate personally with some of the circumstances in my life. And I'm going to read this 2004 poem that I had written, and after reading it, hashing it, I realized that for each point that's made, there's a why to it. There's a why, and each of us have to, investigate whichever why brings home to you. Brother to brother, brother, my brother man. What's it going to take to make you lose that hot dog taste and appreciate a steak? All these blessings are yours to take. The arts, music, science, not to mention sports. Yet you prefer recreation of other illegal sorts. We've lost our sense of music. We've started just making noise. We've stopped growing up to be responsible men. We become lifetime boys. I dare you to challenge that statement. Check it out when you get home. Can God promise to provide all of our needs? Christian men can make it alone. How come all of the sisters have houses and apartments to rent in, while we brothers are peeping and hiding, trying to see which door they went in? Time was we loved our children. We nurtured our growing seed. Now we scatter them around the world, seeing how many we can breed. Oh yes, the children will survive, no matter how little you do, but they'll turn out to continue the trend of trifling irresponsibility, just like you. Commend and congratulate the mothers and the successful children they've had, but there's nothing like growing up in the presence of a mama and a dad. We continue to murder and slay ourselves. How can your sense and intelligence fail? How can you raise and respect your kids when their daddy is locked up in jail? There will come a time of reckoning. Ugly will be all over your face when our fine sisters are clinging to the arms of someone of another race. But you had your chance and blew it. Instead of giving education a try, you hung out with your homies on the corner. You'd rather get stoned and high. I, for one, am tired of picking up the paper to see brothers' names of all ages doing sorry, stupid, simplest things, filling police blotter pages. I'm tired of blame placed on the man. I'm tired of these echoed voices. When you gave away freedom your fathers died for by making decadent choices. Don't you know you're still a slave with whip marks on your back? But the whip's not in the hands of a cruel taskmaster. It's disillusion from booze and crack. Brother, my brother man, let's divorce these hideous things. It's time to act like who we really are. We're descendants of queens and kings. With God as my omnipotent witness, looking down with sorrow from above. Brother to brother, let's turn this around and show the world some love. It's not my place to criticize, but let's try supporting one another. I love you too much to see you go down. I'm talking to you, brother to brother.
Now that's a drop mic moment. Give it up for Bubby Bryant. I love him so much. And this next lady, she always makes me cry with her poetry. It's so beautiful. Ala Amachi.
Thanks for the intro, Chip. I'm going to read my first published poem. I wrote it 2 months into my writing journey. It's called The Phoenix. It's a little bit long. I am the phoenix arisen from smoldering ashes of my past, my soul reignited, my breath unadulterated, my reflection clear in the freshwater pond of time. I dreamt in black, white, and red, always afraid to close my eyes, fighting to stay awake, aware, lest I slip into a dream within a dream. In my Chisinau apartment, the intruders came through an unlocked window, recurringly in ski masks, their shadows crouching on the wall, my parents and my sister on their backs, playing dead, palette of grays. I mimicked them, but laid upon my stomach, unable to emulate their shallow breaths. I could not deceive. They always came for me. The pistols cocked, then coalescing red, but beyond death, the bitterness remained that no one raised their heads. And yet another time when sleep came over me like a dark magician's blanket, they came for me, a child, the townspeople's faces solemn and gray, my handcuffs red, my parents nodding their assent. The strangers tied me to porch posts, onlookers eyed the spectacle. I screamed with bitterness and guilt, "You're all part of my dream, and I will make you disappear," squeezing my eyes shut to open to reality. Reality, too, filled with strife, as a sister I admired, buried emotions, and rode intellect like a beaten horse, her mask, my muse, my inner fire, a soon-to-be extinguished ruse. So was I imprisoned in my mind. So I chose not to dream. For years, my mind black and white, unlittered with a thread of fear, until I clambered up the stairs and saw my little dog. I knew that he was dead. Still, I was not afraid. I felt his familiar warmth, beheld his heart beating under my hand, held close my visitor for one last time. I did not want to part, awoken with a dream of possibility. I learned to keep my mind awake while my body felt asleep. I awoke in my dreams and stayed aware by seeing the fluctuating clock in a realm beyond time, and my elongated, distorted fingers in a realm beyond space. I tasted, smelled, saw, lived possibilities. I flew until one night in my foray to space, I became the phoenix in all her glory, plumage shades of red, fearless, untethered. I traveled among stars. I slept on the crescent moon. Yet when I woke, I remained tethered to a life not my own. It killed my spirit day by day, barely escaping my home, engulfed in flames, set by the man I had surrendered to, rebuilding the ashes of my home with playing cards, burning anew by the black bilious fire of betrayal. My children grasping onto scraps of me. I urged my body to go on, even when my mind faltered, lingered. I became the phoenix, arisen from the ages of the past. Home life heretofore known, wings unfurled like weathered ship sails that prevail the storms of time. My soul awakened in a light. I chose to live. I chose to reach for the moon.
Oh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just love her voice. Such strong imagery. Thank you so much for that. David Egan. Let's give it up for David. I think this is your son here. Yes. All right. Might have to raise this up a little bit. Let's give it up one more time for David. Thanks, David.
I hope this works because I didn't bring the right glasses, but come to realize that since I've needed these, I've yet to find the right glasses. So see if it works. Stay with us yet a little while. We know as well as you your pain. Walk with us just another mile, and then another mile again. I promise not your trek will easy be. All I promise is that you will be with me, and I with you, to find one pathway, just one simple aisle through this day. Just a journey from this side to that, no more. An opportunity at odds with nothing, but perhaps the course you feel is all the only resource that you have at your command to keep. And that is why I ask you not to sweep my offer to the side, but contemplate its merits just as they appear, and wait to see what evening brings your way. Shall you hold yourself from God each day, and each day burn your soul in effigy, because you want of that which cannot be? Shall you treat your own breath with disdain, as lost in dire feelings, you would deign to trade another moment's pain for an eternity of peace, I'm sure, and maybe act before you think it through. I know that what you see before you is the image of yourself, and that alone. But if you think that for their loss you can atone by offering up yourself, I ask you think again, and by your hesitation, give it rein. What course of action will you finally take? They had no choice, but choice is yours to make. I know that wisely often does not enter in, and know we should not compound sin with sin. That both of us should understand too well, and likewise know we shan't find them in hell. A journey such as that I can't endorse, and you should not consider that your course. I have no answers that you do not entertain, save one perhaps, and that one will remain. To sit or walk with me, as is your lot, I shall not hold you if you wish it not, but know my arms are here, and empty too. I know what loss has caused you to go through. I cannot tell you when the darkness lifts, nor when the burden that does press upon your heart shall find relief. Nor can I tell you when the grief which fills your every waking hour shall pass itself onto a higher power. So if you can but spare yourself a while, come sit with me or walk with me a mile.
That's so nice. Thank you so much, David. That was awesome. Thank you so much. This next person I actually heard on the radio, Gianna Volpe had an interview on Black Poetry Day and interviewed this lady. She was talking about the vagina monologues. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Laura Renee Tucker. Let's give it up one more time while she breaks away. Welcome.
Well, thank you. This is my first time here, so. And I'm a writer that comes from the bowels of the Lower East Side. No Rio and near Rican and all those wonderful places. I was going to read something that was really vanilla until I heard Sue, and I was like, yeah, okay. I'm going to read something which is called a high bun, but I call this one a hybrid high bun. So, because I put my little put a pepper in there. The title is called Breaking News. Breaking news. Corruption caught via tricks and treats. Section 8 subsidized White House with grifters eating emoluments, entitlements, stepped down the block for a photo op while trampling the First Amendment. I can't breathe. Breaking news. Battered beings herded away to die. Plagued citizens stalked because of suspicious jogging on their lawn of the free, home of the beige. You're not welcome here, but sorry for your loss. I can't breathe, sir. Breaking news. Banks and big businesses readjusting their feed bags, eating up mom and pa's diner. The bombastic walk Wall Street without masks, playing craps with our paychecks, health, and retirement. Snake eyes. Millions lose jobs. Forget about. Have some Corona V instead. Ah, refreshing. Please, your knee in my neck. I can't breathe. Shit. Breaking news. Nations within this nation suffering more than states. Neighborhoods where superheroes live without capes and masks with titles like nursing assistants, stockroom clerks, letter carriers, maintenance workers. The world marching with masks, but you can't socially distance when you're zip-tied. I'm about to die. Breaking news. Life slipping away goes viral through surviving virus that snatches Africans, whites. Whites with red necklaces playing cowboys, Indians, and others. You chose between Kaepernick's knees or oppressive knees pressed on neck. This time, angel wings cost $20 a pair. No refund. Please let me stand. Like photos with strange fruit and white folks in sepia. They document occasions for prosperity with smartphone, celebrate dominion over unnamed handcuffed men. They lynch horizontally now. You don't even need a tree. Ready for your close-up? Look, Ma, no hands. Mama, I can't. Breaking news. Monarch butterflies still cross the southern border without a visa. Back to you, America.
Wow. Okay, let's tell the truth. Pramila Vasquez-Warren has a book called Exile is Not a Foreign Word, and that book changed my perspective of a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Pramila Vasquez-Warren.
Hi, everyone. Such wonderful features, great poems. This poem is called Remember, and the epigraph reads, "Forgetfulness leads to exile, while remembrance is the secret of redemption." And it's from Yad Vashem. Remember your skies above the land you left. Remember to breathe in the scent of your partner, your child, your loved ones. When everything seems impossible, inhale a whiff of petrichor in your palms. It will bring back to you the shape of rain on the leaves, bending to slide its breath into your open heart. Your face raised to the nimbostratus. Your mother says, "Remember to eat all the fruit I packed in your lunchbox." You recall her words when you scoop fruit onto your children's plates. Think of the children near you who dream of mango, olives, grapes, and oranges, their lips chapped by war dust, smiling through their imagination. Remember your lips cracking when the first Cochin monsoon splattered on your face. Remember the freedom to forget your umbrella, yet come home to hot chai, breaking sky music, filling your ears. You want to whisper in forlorn years, keep remembering your mother's fingers feeding dinner into your petulant mouth. You ask the universe for relief and beg your senses to fill its neurons with details. Remember, you whisper, for that is what keeps you, you, for that is what keeps you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Now we're going to bring Karina Wilson up. Let's give it up for Karina. Welcome.
Good afternoon, you guys. My name is Karina, and I'm here to share a poem from my new published book called I See You. I did something different though. I took about 3 poems out of my new book and I intertwined it to make it one to do an introduction. So here we go. This is called I See You Healing. Then, now, and still becoming. I was born where the waves whispered secrets at night. Martha's Vineyard skies, but the stars weren't bright. Love was loud, but peace was rare, so I learned too young how to smile through despair. Mama was fire and Daddy was gone. Grandma's house had laughter and liquor songs. Anybody else grow up between chaos and care? Yeah, that was me, learning strength from the air. I kept it cute, kept it quiet, stayed out of the way, dreaming of calm in a world gone gray. Ever learn to survive before you learn to breathe? Yeah, I did. That's the gift trauma leaves. I used to pour into people till I ran on fumes, cleaning up hearts while mine filled with gloom. Ever show up for folks who don't show back? You'll learn it's a habit that's hard to crack. I carried smiles like armor plates, worked double shifts and showed up late. Tears in my heart, my throat, and hope in my eyes. But my prayers, whew, they hit the skies. And the world still spun like it didn't care, so I faked my joy just to stay there. Ever sit in your car after work and just cry? Yeah, that was me asking God, oh, why? Now look, I'm not saying I'm perfect. No, not at all, please. I've dated red flags with advantage degrees, trusted folks and drained me dry, then posted quotes like, do you know your why? Healing's wild, you guys. It's not a spa day. It's sweatpants, silence, and bills to pay. Ever swear you healed, then tripped on a scar? Yeah, me too. We've all come that far. Then July 17th of 2022 came fast. Metal met me on a rail. But by mercy held me fast. And I should have been broken, but God had his say. Nothing this time, baby, it's not today. No one was hurt, no souls were lost, just whiplash and grace at a heavy cost. And right in that moment, I found my proof. Sometimes survival becomes your truth. I sat there shaking, thanking grace, with tears and faith all over my face. That's when I See You Healing became my song, because finally I knew where I belonged. Now I laugh more, dance ugly, sing off key, and post my truth whenever, because it's just me. Ever hit share, then whisper, was that just too real? Yeah, me too. That's how honesty feels. But I found my tribe. They know my sound. They heal out loud and they hold their ground. We don't fake fine or hide our scars. We shine through cracks like midnight stars. Because healing is not perfect, but it is real. It's not overnight. It's how you deal. It's when you stop performing that I am fine and start saying that the fight is mine. Ever been that strong one who ever said, please help? Ever looked in the mirror and just saw yourself? Yeah, that's me, the woman reborn, soft but steady, weathered and warm. So if your, I'm sorry. So if your storm still shakes your ground, hold steady because peace will come around. The darkest nights birth brightest skies, and tears can be truth in its own disguise. You're not too late, you're right on cue. Becoming takes time, so let it mold you. Your pain ain't proof that you are broken apart. It's the ink God used to sign your broken heart. Ever wonder why strong ones smile so hard? 'Cause laughter's armor when pain won't hide. But strength ain't holding the pieces tight. It's learning to rest when you've lost the fight. So please just breathe tonight. You've come this far. You are exactly who you are. Don't curse the rain. It helped you grow. Your roots run deep. The world will know. And when you rise from what you've been feeling, stand tall and say, I see you healing. Because I do, and I mean it.
Thank you so much, Karina. And now we're gonna bring Jen Sift. Give it up for Jen. Yeah. Now that line that you said about the being seen off key, you know, there are 88 keys on the keyboard and none of them are mine. Jen Sift.
Hi, it's nice to see everybody. I'm ill prepared. I'm going to read something I've read before. It's called Collect Calls. When M calls collect, I said, excuse me, accept the charges. Roommates complied, nonchalant and unquestioning. Why should they suspect the calls came from Hades? Alone, I heard his voice, sharp as the powdered razor, dangerous as nighttime in prurient after-hours bars. He spoke of grotesque scenes, and I assumed untold others. My imagination fused filth of visiting rooms with folklore. Why would roommates assume recurrent collect calls elicited nausea and self-hatred? Jen, he spoke over the operator. This same voice had told me he was there because of me, had chosen trial over flight to be near me. My dad was a hero, I believed, and I the reason he was in this inferno, crowded with criminal souls and sentries at barred gates, while I survived in mourning, like Orpheus, responsible for the death of innocent Eurydice. He called collect, for he was no longer in Paris, Dubai, nor at Art Basel, dismissing me. Accept the charges, I said, which naturally should not bring to mind a strip search. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jen. And now let's give it up for Maggie Bloomfield.
Okay, I tortured myself with whether to read something serious or read my Halloween poem, which I only get to read once a year. Some of you have heard it. You will have to hear it again. The Cat Who Ate Her Master. Hassan was a white Angora, much too royal blue blood for a lunch of desiccated tuna. Much more tempting was a spoon of bloody sinew, tasty tissue. If you offered, she would kiss you, purr and snuggle wild with flavor. Plates of carnage were her favorite haute cuisine, and freshly butchered kept her drooling, fat, and nurtured. Thus, her master turned assassin, hunting food for hungry Hassan. Birds, raccoons, and tasty rabbits satisfied her eating habits, till one day he told her, sorry, he'd exhausted all the quarry Hassan's neighborhood could tender. Plus, he said it's time to end her gluttony, so why not try it? He put Hassan on a diet. Big mistake. On the day he offered Friskies, Hassan's attitude turned risky. Science, diet, and Purina only made her temper meaner. Hassan's eyes grew dark and gleaming. Master found himself bad, dreaming shark attacks and hungry lions, rats that nibbled at his eye. His nights became a living hell. Hassan herself did not seem well, crouched in corners, staring blindly like a cat who'd lost her mind. She watched and waited for some gore. It wasn't coming anymore. So it wasn't so surprising. As the morning sun was rising, Master, cozily abetted, did not wake. The man was shredded. Claws had raked and teeth had munched. Master's flesh was Hassan's lunch. Breakfast treat and sumptuous dinner. She preferred his kidney in her to his supercilious whining over problems with her dining. So the moral of the story, if your kitty's tastes are gory, better give your pet her wish or become her favorite dish. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Will and Heru had to leave. So we only have to bring Dee Dee back. However, I would like to read something that I conducted a workshop at Queens College for 16 students, and each student came up with one of these lines of this poem. And thank you so much, Queens College, and thank you so much, Vivette Dukes, the instructor. My friends make me happy. They guide me in the right direction. Unconditional support and love comes without asking. Spending time laughing until our stomach hurts, talking without being judged. When I need them the most, they are right on time. Even if I make a bad decision, they come and go. Some stay forever. Truthfulness is proven through caring, but all are not reliable, especially if you have what they want. They could come and smile, all glossy-eyed, but stab you in your back. When you start acting shady, you must draw the line. Sometimes a line is not enough. You need a wall. And thank you so much. And thank you, Queens College, and thank you, Maggie Bloomfield, for helping me put that poem together. My dad passed away 9 years ago yesterday, and I wrote this poem to my siblings. When the moon shines through the evening darkness, and the air hissed heavy even on the thickest layer of my skin, awakening my heart that beats rapidly within my chest. I am reminded I am alive. As tears trailed down my face, I remember the smiles and laughter of happier times when Dad would take us in his arms and make everything all right. God, I wish he was here alive and well with us tonight as we look out at this beautiful moon shining so bright. Do you wonder about tomorrow, or do you smile in gratitude of today? I like to think in times like this that tomorrow I'll still be here. But the truth is, I don't know when I too shall depart. So tonight I will enjoy the moon as it awakens my consciousness and warms my heart, acknowledging every moment matters most. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we're so happy that you all came to join us. We're so happy that all of you came to join us on Zoom. And we'd like to close out with Doreen Spungin, our wonderful feature. Doreen Spungin.
I just want to say that this afternoon is a treasure chest. Every poem a jewel, every poet just giving us everything. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to finish. I have a longer poem and a very short one. Excuse me. This is grief gently consumed by sadness in the afterthought of how. When fate trips on her own feet, mistakes cannot be corrected. In consuming the dark, we arrest the light, a search for candles, for condolence, for freedom from pain. We taste the glow of ache. Throb, hearts, remember the beauty that was delivered, then taken. We own, we borrow, we think we own, more we owe. It is time to give back. Joy return to its final resting place. Time the healer, time the stealer. How many moments can be crowded into a heart's elevator? And we ride to the top holding on for the blessed moment. Arms are made to soothe, to hold, to be emptied. The cup that runs over its brim round with the liquid of love is tipped. Love pours over the world, soothing so many in anguish. We can look at loss, touch it, wish it away. Questions are fired into the atmosphere. Listen. The answer lies in a rainbow, a flower, a newborn anything. Our pain is newborn, but it will age as we age. You wish us comfort, we wish for magic. Come, let us sit together and share stories. Make each other laugh for a while. Laughter is analgesic. Then night falls and laughter stills. We look within, read the memories, dare to smile. Discover we still can. Learn it feels better than tears. Forgive ourselves. Forgive fate. Watch her trip over her own feet again. That is the way of life. Thank you. So, thank you. And the last poem is a poem that wasn't going to be in the book. I had discovered a photo of my brother and me at our piano back in Brooklyn back in the day. And I wanted it as the cover instead of the usual blurbs, which are inside. And Judy said, maybe you can find a poem that would be small enough to fit on the back under the picture. And crazy thing, a few days before the conversation with her, I had come across a poem that was supposed to be in the book and I forgot all about it. And it works. And I'm going to end with this. It's called Forgive My Absence. There was a breeze that called me and I promised myself to her, running, open arm, a child's smile on my wrinkled face. There were flowers blooming and the scent swayed me to the edge. I capitulated and never looked back. Do without me. I know all will be well. Thank you so very much for this opportunity. Thank you for your time and everybody.
Thank you.
You
Thank you. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you. What wonderful features we had today, and what a wonderful open mic. Oh, my goodness. So glad you all could make it. Let's have a hand for the afternoon. Oh, my God. Come back next month. We will have 3 poets and an open mic. I'm announcing early that in December, we will not be having a poetry street this year, but we'll be here next month, the last Saturday of the month, 2 to 4. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you. And don't forget to do the community poem. You have to come back if you want to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.